Hello, good afternoon. My name is Mac Boyder. I'm a research director with LeanTaaS, and here today I have with us joining Neil Oscarson, a fellow research director. We're going to be talking about LeanTaaS and a recent technology spotlight report that we conducted on them. Neil, really quick, can you give us a brief intro to LeanTaaS and help us understand why the technology was selected and important for class to do a spotlight report on?
Yeah, so the most common question I get today from hospital, and I'm sure that you do as well, from hospitals are, hey, we have limited resources, we have limited capacity, and we have limited equipment. What technologies are out there that can help me optimize that group of resources? And so LeanTaaS is an organization who focuses on optimization of facility. They focus on operating rooms, they focus on infusion centers, they focus on other areas. And so we did this report on the IQ for operating rooms technology from LeanTaaS. And the reason we thought it was so important is because that optimization of capacity is just such a critical driver for hospitals today.
I do talk to hospitals and health systems all the time. It is absolutely top of mind for them. So that's helpful to hear that that's one of the driving reasons why we did this. How many customers did class have conversations with for this report?
So as part of this report, we had the chance to reach out to many of LeanTaaS's customers and have conversations with them. And we had 20 interviews with 16 different healthcare organizations. So we talked to 20 different people from 16 organizations, and those organizations were mostly large hospital systems and academic hospitals. There's a couple of standalone hospitals in there, but for the most part, these were large enterprise solutions. We validated the experience of some smaller hospital systems as well. But really robust half-hour-long conversations with users of the LeanTaaS product.
Would you find that it's more important for the large inpatient, large facilities and IDNs, or is it equally applicable? And is this relevant to all, health systems, large, small, down to critical access, et cetera?
Really good question. I think that in many cases the stakes are higher for even some of the smaller hospitals. I think that smaller systems are really thinking about how do we get every ounce of utilization out of these facilities. But certainly, if you're a larger hospital system and you have, many operating rooms, the aggregate outcomes across those would be very, very beneficial. So, for our experience was that any size of system had a very similar experience with the LeanTaaS technology.
Okay, that's super helpful. Thank you. What are some of the main takeaways that class learned from actually talking with the users of IQ and for operating rooms? What were some of those main takeaways?
So most remarkably, across that group of 20 conversations, class has a classification that basically says if it's a 90 class score or above, it's highly satisfied. And that's not an easy mark to achieve, 90 and above in a class score. All 20 of these conversations, not one of them fell below a 90. In other words, every customer we talked to had a highly satisfied experience. And that's quite remarkable. And I think the main drivers of that were two things. One is that the outcomes achieved are significant and real. People could talk about them, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through this. But the second one was that LeanTaaS is really a guiding partner for these experiences. And one of the most common concerns that I hear, and I'm sure that you do as well from healthcare IT partners of hospitals, is a hospital will tell me, we need this organization to help me with this product. Help me adopt it, help me learn how to use it better, help me be a partner in delivering the outcomes that I need. And we heard that word a lot with LeanTaaS. They're a partner. They don't leave us alone after the implementation. They're guiding us. So those two things really stood out: the outcomes achieved and the partnership with LeanTaaS, the relationship.
And let's talk about that. Let's double click on the outcomes for just a minute. What were some of the outcomes? What did class learn about what the LeanTaaS users found valuable versus that may not have been super valuable or valuable at all? Talk about those outcomes for a moment.
Yeah, good. One of the interesting findings was 95% of the hospitals that we talked to found valuable outcomes within the first 6 months of using the tool. And so this wasn't taking years and years to achieve the outcomes. But then it comes down to, well, what are those outcomes? What are the significant outcomes that we are seeing? And so the most common was the optimization or better utilization of ORs. And I had some conversations with some of these hospital systems myself, and often the conversation sounded like, number one, this is a really valuable tool to give me visibility on how well that the rooms are being utilized. Number two, LeanTaaS relies heavily on machine learning and using data to predict utilization of ORs, and so that was really valuable. And then number 3 was the reporting on utilization after the fact, so people could really understand how it was being utilized. So you take those 3, and the outcomes were very specifically about, so some systems even mentioned, hey, it took us about 6 to 9 months to gain back our investment in LeanTaaS with the expanded utilization and optimization of our OR space. And operating rooms are one of the more significant drivers of revenue for hospitals, and so that's an area where you could quickly gain. If we optimize the use, you can see how that could be really valuable to the financial experience of the hospital.
We do know those. One of the things I love about our Spotlight reports is that they ask specifically about time to see outcomes, as well as what are those outcomes, positive or negative, et cetera. So that is super helpful. Look forward to that in the report. What are any concluding thoughts you have, Neil, about LeanTaaS, the solution, and the work that they're doing?
Yeah, I think the most common opportunity that we heard of from LeanTaaS customers were increasing the functionality. And that's a great kind of opportunity for LeanTaaS as they continue to grow, to continue to develop robust reporting functionality. And I think that there's an opportunity still for more full utilization of the AI technology. So a lot of folks really appreciated that, but we're still a little learning as they started using that data to help them make better decisions. But the takeaway for me was, I recall one conversation that I had that kind of sums this up, and it was from a hospital administrator who talked about LeanTaaS partnered with us from the beginning. The investment felt it's not cheap. It felt like it was a investment from us. However, we started seeing returns on that so quickly, and LeanTaaS was such a partner with us that it quickly became a no-brainer for us to continue to expand this partnership. And so LeanTaaS is growing, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as they scale across many, many hospital systems. But the early returns from these 20 conversations were great partner with technology that is really driving valuable results. And because of that, it's really exciting, the opportunity the hospitals have to utilize that to help them become hopefully a more efficiently run facility.
Excellent. Thank you, Neil. And we're going to have more information for you available on the KLAS website at classresearch.com. You can also view information on this report with LeanTaaS and other reports on that site going forward. So thank you, Neil, for taking the time. Appreciate it.